Hello, Empathic Healers. How does your self-image play a role in having everything you need? In this video, I will guide you along the journaling process to check in with yourself to increase your self-awareness, assess your energy, and align with the source of unconditional love. So welcome to the self-love movement. Again, it is my deepest belief that if we all loved ourselves enough, suicide wouldn't be a thing. So I want to make sure we come on, we get together, we do our journaling, we stick with it, we check in with ourselves on a daily, and do whatever it takes to take care of ourselves as we manage through this human experience. If you are new to me, my name is Robin Knott. I teach energy healing methods with a strong focus on self-care, self-worth, and self-love in order to break old programs like codependency without feelings of blame, shame, or guilt. So, starting off the process in our journal, right? We write down the journal prompt. So again, looking down because I have my journal in front of me. Let me read it off again. How does your self-image play a role in having everything that you need? You could go in so many directions in this, right? So some things that came to mind were things like fear of rejection and feeling unworthy. So if we feel unworthy about having our needs met, having things that we need, it's going to put a damper on our ability to receive it or to feel motivated or confident enough to do what it takes to get what we need, right? So is there a particular image? Another question that came up in the journaling process, is there a particular image we try to project out to others? And again, this could motivate us or hold us back. It could go either way, right? Depending on what that image is. So an example might be, because the idea of being independent, right? That's like a very common, I think, value that many of us have. So to be strong or to be independent, and then you try to portray this image of self out to everyone. So if something comes up that maybe you need help getting something that you need, you may hold back from asking for it because there's this idea that if you're strong and independent, you never need help, right? Does that hold true for you? And this could be situational, right? Sometimes it might be that. Sometimes it's something else. Again, this is your process, whatever comes up for you. So when you ask that question, you use the journal prompt and you ask yourself the question. Just sit for a moment and wait and listen and see what comes up, right? Even if it seems like it's off in left field, if it's not making any sense or you think it's not on topic, write it anyway. Just allow it to flow. Sometimes we're just clearing away some fog before we allow it, listen, and get to the meat, so to speak. What else? Again, if you bring in that fear of rejection, that could be another. If you needed help getting your needs met or doing whatever you needed to do to get to the next step of getting your needs met, whatever that path looks like for you, that fear of rejection, and then not asking for the help, right? Either way, I mean, it could be a block for you. Again, it could also be a motivator. And sometimes we go through phases in our life, right? Because again, I can remember a time when I was very spunky and when I felt like I couldn't, or there was some form of resistance coming up, I was full of motivation, very egoic motivation, but motivation nonetheless. And if I had that feeling like I can't, or was told I can't do something, I was like, watch me. Right. So it motivated me to try harder. It motivated me to find ways to get my needs met, kind of thing. Or certain things I wanted. Maybe it wasn't a need. I didn't do well at asking for help. So there's differences in that too. So I know this is a very vague question, but explore it. And then specifying our needs to make that, it's like a step one. So when you're used to people pleasing and you're used to putting yourself on the back burner and you're used to not prioritizing your self-care and your self-worth and your self-love, then this is a way of starting to. And I know that there's different situations, there's different relationships, there's different, so you might have many different answers in the journal, but whatever ones come up. Oh, I wanted to read that. So I'm glad I said that. I'm going to use my phone for a minute because the people pleasing came up in my journal, right? And I am talking more again about codependency, patterns of codependency, not in a sense to label people. And I think that that term gets confusing and what it means. And there is a spectrum if you've ever looked into codependency from one end to another. Just like when empaths talk about being an empath versus a narcissist, or an empath versus a dark empath, or there's a wide spectrum. And on our journeys, I think that there are times when maybe it flows, it goes back and forth. And again, no blame, shame, and guilt, just calling things out. I see more and more of it. I've been there. Like in different levels, and I can see it in myself more, and I wish that I had someone to help me through it. So I want to be there and help you. Not to label, not to blame, shame, and guilt, setting all of that aside, looking at patterns. We all have patterns of behavior. We're human. We're habitual creatures, right? The habit, the patterns. So just looking at those, and the ones that don't serve us or anybody else, we can change them. And I love that because that is empowering. And let me go back to where I left off because I digressed. People pleaser. I happened to look at the Psych Central article, and I screenshot it a bit because it seemed very fitting. So this is from Psych Central. As a coping mechanism, some individuals become people pleasers who are afraid to be their true selves or take care of themselves, right? We're talking about that. A lot of them don't even know who they really are. Again, so I'll go back to that. What they actually feel, what they truly think, or what they like. Let me say that again. A lot of them don't even know who they really are, what they actually feel, what they truly think, or what they like. Their mental boundaries are closely enmeshed with others because they were raised to take care of others and neglect themselves. Hello, right? Again, I'm going to come back to those points. Others have developed different tendencies that fall on the other side of the spectrum, as I was just mentioning before, where they disregard others, their boundaries, and their humanity and only care about themselves. This is often what people refer to when they use the terms narcissism or antisocial behavior. So there's that too, right? When you have that self-image, there's a lot we can do with that. When you have that self-image, the idea of you have of yourself, and then what you want people to see, how you want others to see you, right? So a lot of us don't want to be considered the narcissist, and a lot of us get in those situations where when you're just trying to set a healthy boundary, when you're just like, look, I'm at my wit's end and I need to take care of me, and then you get that backlash of like, you're selfish and blah, 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 you're a narcissist and you don't think about yourself, or whatever those things are. Then there's that fear too of like, I'm not trying to not care, and I'm not trying to not help, and I'm not trying to not be there, because we love deeply and we want to help and we're empathetic, right? But you're drained and you need to take care of yourself. That can also affect having your needs met, right? Because again, as we've talked this week in different relationships, when you're helping other people and you're putting them first, they become your priority, and then you're not having your own needs met. And what is that self-image? That's the part we're talking about today, just how we see ourselves. How does that play the role, right? So sometimes our ideas and perspective get misdirected, and we're looking outward, and we could see other people like, well, if you would help me more, right? Trying to do all this by myself, but if I had some help from these people out here who should also be taking on responsibility with me, because it's really not, like, we could take it everywhere, right? Or if you would stop coming at me all the time asking for things, I wouldn't be so drained, but we're the ones still giving it, right? But anyways, it's still about that self-image. So just exploring how that affects us getting our needs met. And that's not blame, shame, or guilt to self or others. It's only for awareness, right? Aware, assess, and align. It's my main purposes of doing the journaling. Be aware of ourselves, assess our energy, and align with the source of unconditional love, which that unconditional love is for all of us. It's us. It's you and me. There's not a detachment and separation. It's not screw you and it's all about me, and it's not screw me, throw me on the back burner. It's all about you. There's a connection, a flow of energy back and forth, right? Inflow and outflow. Excuse me, togetherness. Excuse me here. Let's see. So then I want to go back to this again because a couple things real quick so I don't forget. As this talks about the people pleasing, going back to the Psych Central article, where it says a lot of them don't even know who they really are. So, you guys, I have a 5-day challenge coming up, and that part of my life really, all those years of not knowing me, I've shared some of those stories before. Not knowing me or what I liked, not knowing how to answer those questions. People would ask me, what do you like to do? I don't know. What do you like? Like, had no idea. Like, I'm waiting for you to tell me, kind of thing. Very odd. It's odd in my own reflection to look back at that, but I mean, it was very real, right? I didn't know. And it's not a fault. Again, it's not blame, shame, or guilt. But having that understanding and knowing what it feels like to not really know who you are. And then when you become aware, because all the years I wasn't even aware, I didn't know who I was. I just assumed I did. But then again, when questioned, it's like, right? Anyways, my 5-day challenge is actually called Be You. It's a 5-day challenge to break patterns of codependency. Again, it's not about labeling, it's not a diagnosis, quote unquote. It's just recognizing some of these patterns that hold us back or keep us stuck, or repeat cycles that just don't serve us anymore, and getting rid of them, giving ourselves permission to be us. And that for some people that might sound weird, but if you're like me, it makes complete sense. You've had those feelings of you feel like you lose yourself, right? Because the focus has been off of us for so long. So this is a way to be you. I mean, of course you are you, but to be you, to look at those patterns and break the ones that no longer serve you. So what I was leaving out there, if you're interested in learning more, again, it's on pre-launch. My goal is to launch December 11th, which is on a Monday, so a 5-day challenge. If you would like to sign up for that now, let me know in the comments or message me, email me, however you want to reach out, and I can get you a coupon code for 50% off the price. What else did I want to bring up? The boundaries. So let me go back. A lot of them don't even know who they really are, what they actually feel, what they truly think, or what they like. Mental boundaries are closely enmeshed with others because they were raised to take care of others and neglect themselves, the boundaries. So you've heard me talk over and over. If you've been following along with me, I've been inviting you to the Empathic Healers Masterclass, which is all about setting boundaries and protecting your energy. And yeah, so if you want that link as well, if you haven't already signed up, let me know in the comments as well, and I'll get you that link. So I think that definitely covers it for today. And I will be back to talk about transformation and forgiveness, because that's a big one too, right? When we feel like we're not having our needs met, do we feel anger or resentment? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. Either way, take good care of you. Continue to check in with yourself. Journal, right? We're going to increase your awareness, assess your energy, and get in alignment, if you're not already, with the source of unconditional love. And I will see you tomorrow. So much love. Bye, guys.